Welcome to the Talking the Line podcast, presented to you by Talking the Line Sports Media, giving you our best insights and analysis so you can rake in some cold hard cash on your next sports bet. Now sit on back, open up your mind, and let's cash some tickets. We can't thank you enough for joining us. We hope you enjoy. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, degenerates and gamblers far and wide. Welcome in to episode number 58 of the Talking the Line podcast. Hey, thank you so much for taking a few moments out of your day to come and kick it with the crew on this beautiful Monday of bets. Now, before we talk some lines today and share the value that we found across today's slate with you guys, please take a few moments to smash that subscribe button on whatever platform you are currently listening to the Talking the Line podcast on, whether that be on YouTube or the audio recorded version on your favorite podcasting directory. Make sure you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss an episode, and go ahead and turn on those notifications as well. If you also have an extra second and you could be so kind, go ahead and hit that like button, leave us a comment, leave us a rating. All that good stuff. We cannot tell you how much we appreciate it when you do, and it only helps us make TTL Sports Media bigger and better for each and every one of you. And last but not least, head on over to this episode's description where you will find the Talking the Line link tree. First link located in that description. Within that link tree, you will find all of the TTL crew's content so you can consume it however and whenever you please. Gamblers joining us on today's show, I am your humble host, Colt 45 Soroka, and it's about that time for me to stop blabbing and bring in the co-host of the show, a young man who is very thrilled that his White Sox are coming off a 3-0 clean sweep of the Detroit Tigers this past weekend, about as happy as I am that my Cubbies are coming off a clean sweep of those Cardinals. He is still not trying to hear any of your Aaron Rodgers bullshit, so I suggest you leave it at home before you come and talk to him. So without further ado, the man, the myth, the degenerate gambling legend himself, Mr. Riley RMags Magnuson. Partner, how you doing over there today, pal?
My man, I am doing fantastic. It is Monday, new fresh week. I'm ready to rock it right alongside you, and we are going to get about, between 20 and 30, 40 tickets cash this week, something along those lines. Maybe I'm, throwing out a wild guess there. But,
that doesn't seem like an overestimate to me,
sure?
My friend.
Okay.
That seems just about right, spot on, right in line with where my thoughts were. So I'm glad we're on the same page here. Coming off a great day for myself yesterday. I went 11-4 on the books.
Yeah.
Had a really solid day. Get me set going into this week. How about you, my man?
I basically broke even on the weekend. Had a couple rough beats in some baseball first fives, but, positive yesterday. So, live to fight another day.
Absolutely. I love to hear it, my friend. Well, hey, first things first here. Had some minor technical difficulties getting some things going here today. As you all know, we didn't go to school for IT. Hell, we didn't even really go to school for sports, but we love it so much and we're passionate about it. So we're here to research and learn. So we are going to implement a few new things here today, most notably during the Moneyline Dice segment today. So I had to figure out a few things there. Hopefully it works. Fingers crossed. Might have to do a little troubleshooting during the segment, but stick around for that because we got some new stuff coming up. And my mouse, I don't know what the deal with my mouse is here. It just decided to crap out and not work on me.
Not ideal.
So we're going to have to use the old laptop keyboard here and just produce the show like that. So let's see how this goes on this Monday. nothing to recap for you. Obviously, didn't have a show yesterday, but we got one to kick off the week in style. Partner, what? You got
I got four baseball bets.
Ooh, 4 MLB bets coming from RMags today. I know he's got some serious value to dish out. Already told me a little bit about him, and I am riding with him. And also, I got 5 or 6 best bets coming at you. Actually, let me double check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, 5 best bets coming at you here today. 3 MLB and 2 NBA. Obviously, 2 NBA games on today's slate, so 1 out of each game. Then we got the traditional special play for Monday, partner, the Monday Madness Parlay. We got 3 legs today, but folks, this baby is paying out at 7-1 odds. So I suggest you stick around for the second segment today, the Monday Madness Parlay, and get it locked in as soon as we drop it. The aforementioned Moneyline Dice, making their usual episodic appearance. No questions about it. Got an MLB matchup for them to roll for us on today, and boy, oh boy, they closed out the week hot, and they're looking to start it hot. So, stick around for that segment. We're not going to tell you exactly who the MLB matchup is. You're just going to have to wait around and find out for yourself. In addition, we got a lot of good stuff from this past weekend to get into today's Rants and Reactions for the second half of the show. So after we wrap up all of our best bets analysis, everything in between there, we'll kick into the second half of the show, give you some Rants and Reactions, all that good stuff, plenty of juicy news and updates to get into. And then I'll close out the show with my motivation minutes as per usual. Got a pretty sweet message, something that's really close to my heart, something that I do quite often to share with you guys today. Other than that, partner, anything I missed, anything top of mind, my friend, while I get a quick sip of water here?
I don't think so. We had a pretty wild weekend of sports, and I'm excited for that second half of the show to recap all of that action.
All right, my friend. So for now, cut all the nonsense, cut all the banter, stop all the drama that you could go to every other sports media outlet and get. You come here to the Talking the Line podcast to get stone cold locks and run tickets to the pay window with the TTL crew all day and night long. So without further ado, it's time to get into the first segment of the day. As always, the TTL crew's best bets of the day. And you better believe RMags is ready to kick things off in style here today. As always, showed up at the TTL production studios beaming. I mean beaming, folks. He has value to drop down like nobody's business. So I'm going to cut all my nonsense. I'm going to give him the floor. Let him drop down some serious value on your heads. And as always, partner, you have the floor.
As always, I appreciate it, my partner.
Yes, sir.
Didn't say partner that time.
I appreciate it. I love it. You're getting there.
All righty. First play of the day is coming out of the Reds versus Brewers matchup, and I am taking the Reds first 5 plus a half. You've got Vladimir Gutierrez on the mound for the Reds. He is a right-hander versus Eric Lauer, lefty for the Brew Crew. Vladimir Gutierrez, 3 starts in his young career here, 2-1 record, 2.65 ERA. And those starts weren't against any slouch teams. You've got the Cubs, Cardinals, and these Brewers. Lauer, on the other hand, has been rather inconsistent over his last few starts. These Brewers are 1-5 straight up in his last 6 games that he's appeared in. Hasn't been all starts, but typically when he does get in there, if it's not a start, it's a long relief appearance typically. He holds a 4.82 ERA, and believe it or not, he's actually worse at home with a 6.19 ERA. And this Reds team versus lefties on the season, not great numbers. So on the surface, you might be thinking, why am I taking this play? But these Reds against the lefties, last handful of games are kind of right around the same area that they are and have been against righties. Last 5 versus lefties, 2.82 batting average, 3.78 OBP, and 9.92 runs per 9. Last 10, not quite that good, but still pretty solid numbers. Reds 7th in the MLB in first 5 runs with 2.9, and they are actually 8-1-1 last 10 in the first 5 innings over their last 10 games. And these Brewers, partner, 24th in the MLB in first 5 runs, 2.09. 2.14 at home. So not like a big split, and the road numbers are dragging down that total number like you see with a lot of teams.
Right.
Pretty even home or away in the first 5. They don't jump out to a hot start. And these Brewers, 9-1 straight up last 10 games. They are hot, but those 7 of those 10 games are against the Pirates and the D-backs, 2 of the coldest teams in the National League. Actually, bottom 3 records in the 2 of the bottom 3 teams in the National League.
Yes,
so
sir.
I'm not buying into that too much because these Reds have also been playing pretty solid baseball given those last 10 games, first 5 numbers. So first play, I really like these Reds, first 5 plus a half.
I absolutely love it as well, my friend. We might have a little bit of additional action on this game as well for the Monday Madness Parlay, so stick around. I'm telling you, this bad boy is juicy.
Yes,
and before
it
you
is.
dive into number 2 here, partner, our apologies just real quick in case we have any stream issues. Looks like YouTube is just a bit on the fritz this morning, but I think we can power right on through it. Looks like we cleared it. So, partner, continue. Number 2, my friend.
Alrighty, number 2, Tigers versus Royals game. I am taking the Royals first 5 money line. You've got Matthew Boyd, lefty on the mound for the Tigers, and Brad Keller on the mound, righty for the Royals. Now, Brad Keller is better than his surface numbers would suggest, in my opinion. He had a terrible, terrible April, but he's been turning things around a little bit lately. 3.86 ERA in May. Had a bad start last week, 4 or 5 runs against the Angels, but that's a hot offense. At least last week they were, and they still are right now. And these Royals are 5-1 straight up in his last 6 starts, 3-1-2 in first 5s for Brad Keller. And on the other side of the mound here, you've got Matthew Boyd, who I would argue is worse than his surface numbers. He's got a 3.56 ERA on the season, but it's basically the exact opposite of Brad Keller. 2.27 ERA in April, and now things are getting worse. 5.32 ERA in May, 4.22 in June. Last start, 0 earned run versus Seattle, but that's an ice cold Seattle Mariners offense versus lefties. And before that start, he gave up at least 4 earned run in 4 straight, including 5 earned to these Royals. Royals are coming off of a tough West Coast stretch over the last week. They are more than excited to not only get home, but play a not a hot team like they have been playing the Angels and the A's. So they are chomping at the bit to get back at home against a less than formidable opponent. Sure. They have gone cold versus righties during that stretch, but they are still hitting lefties, even when they are losing some games there. Last 5 versus lefties, 286 batting average, 318 OBP, and 6.97 runs per 9. While the Tigers, I mentioned, not quite formidable. Last 5 versus righties, 204 batting average, 283 OBP, and 377 runs per 9, 3.77. That is last 5 versus righties for them. You've got the Royals at home, 10th in the MLB in first 5 runs, 2.94. Tigers on the road, 19th in the MLB, 2.06. And the Tigers on the road in first 5 runs allowed, 23rd in the MLB with 3.1. Give me every bit of this Royals team. I'm not buying into these surface numbers of these pitchers. I think it's a little bit of the exact opposite for both of them. Not saying Brad Keller's a world beater by any means, but he's better than his ERA would suggest. So I am taking the Royals first 5 money line, partner.
Okay, I actually had picked out the Tigers first 5 plus a half there on the run line. Kind of seeing this morning, but since you kind of laid some of those things down there, I think I might be backing you now. Still, it might kind of be a stay away game for me. It might be that setup with the Royals. I don't know. I love where your head's at with some of the deeper numbers. Those surface numbers, I do believe, are less than actually factual for what these pitchers are so far this year. So I appreciate the fact you dropped that down. So might be rocking with you.
Yeah, I can definitely accept the stay away factor just because the Royals are coming off of a rough West Coast trip. But
I think this is just the game they need, though.
That's kind of what I'm thinking, and I feel like I do have a pretty decent feel of these AL Central matchups, given that I, obviously Sox fan and I pay attention to these teams pretty closely.
Sure.
So, anyways, moving on to my third pick here.
There you
I
go.
am taking out of the Angels versus A's matchup. I am taking the A's first 5 money line. In this one, you've got. I already mentioned that the Angels are hitting well right now, as are both of these teams. Both of these teams just beat up on the Royals over the last week, so that kind of lends into that previous matchup that I talked about. with both of these offenses being hot, the thing that I'm really buying into here is not only the A's having the much better pitcher, but also the much hotter pitcher. You've got Dylan Bundy on the mound for the Angels versus Sean Manaea for the A's. Like I said, both teams have caught fire, but Manaea is the hotter and better pitcher. After a bit of inconsistency, Maya is arguably, in my opinion, one of the hotter pitchers in that league, or in the league. Last four starts, including 2 of them being against the Angels, he has allowed 1 earned run or less in all of those 4 starts. Last 2 starts, 0 earned runs over 15 innings pitched, only 6 hits allowed. The A's are 3-0-1 in the first 5 innings during that stretch. Now you go to the other side of the bill. Bundy, 6.16 ERA. He had a 9.2 ERA in May. And on the season, the Angels are 2-8-2 in the first 5 innings of his starts. 2-8-2.
Okay.
And now these A's, last 10 games, the A's themselves, 9-1 last 10 first 5s. And versus right-handers over the last 10, 266 batting average, 337 OBP. And 6.15 runs per 9. I did mention it. The Angels are hitting very well right now, but I cannot pass up the difference in this pitching matchup. Even if Sean Manaea wasn't as hot as he was, I would still be leaning towards this. But with Manaea as hot as he is, I think he cools that Angels offense down, and I think the A's offense does not skip a beat today. So third play, A's first 5 money line partner.
I love that one. You are nail hammer with that pitching matchup. Hammer. Pitching matchup. I think that Manaea versus Bundy looms very, very heavily. Absolutely love that play from you, partner. So there is 1, 2, and 3. I do believe you have one more to give out, sir.
I do. I do.
Let's rock and roll.
Alrighty, staying in the American League, we've got the Twins first 5 money line versus the Seattle Mariners. I know we've got Kenta Maeda on the mound for the Twins righty versus Marco Gonzalez lefty for the Mariners. Maeda did not get off to the best start this season, but now he is coming off the IL. I'm thinking he's fresh, rejuvenated, not only got the rest, but he's got those issues out of his way, and I think we're going to see him get back closer to what we saw last year where he had a sub-3 ERA in 2020. But the big thing that I like here is I like the Twins to pounce all over Marco Gonzalez. Gonzalez, 1-5-1 in first 5s this season for the Mariners. He's got a 5.45 ERA. Failed to make it through his 5 innings in his last start versus Detroit. 4 earned runs allowed. And these Twins partner versus lefties are starting to look like the team that we saw versus lefties, at least. Overall, they've still got some holes. They still got some issues, but they are starting to tear the cover off the ball against lefties like we saw the last couple of years. Last 10 versus lefties, 302 batting average, 338 OBP, 6.16 runs per 9. That is starting to look a little bit more familiar. I am taking the first 5 because, like I said, they do still have some holes, and that bullpen has been a little sketchy for me lately. But the Mariners' last 10 versus righties, I mentioned it earlier, cold. 219 batting average, 4.83 runs per 9 over their last 10 versus righties. And at home, in first 5 runs, they are dead last at home with 1.9 in the first 5. While these Twins actually are 4th in the MLB on the road in first 5 runs, 2.87. So all in all, I like Maeda to get a bounce back here. Even if he doesn't, I like the Twins to absolutely destroy Marco Gonzalez here in these first 5s, and I don't even think he makes it to the 5th inning, partner.
I would have to agree with you. I kicked the tires on this one a little bit. Wasn't my favorite play of the day, but I do like the side that you have. I like Maeda to bounce back off the IL.
I was going to say, I know you're not a huge Maeda fan, so I was thinking that might be the issue.
Yeah, it's a little. That was kind of the issue.
At least,
but,
early on in the season, he had some issues, some shakiness, but I think that can be attributed to his, I believe it was an abductor strain.
Yeah, and then you got Marco Gonzalez on the opposing bump. I just can't put money on him.
Right.
I can't trust him.
Right.
So I think you're spot on there with all that analysis, my friend. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. I appreciate it, and so do the kind folks that tuned in. So if you are rocking with RMags, we'll be sure to recap all of his best bets of the day here very shortly. However, if you got them now, make sure you hammer them as soon as you can. Get them in on your favorite sportsbook at whatever the current best line is. But moving right along without any hesitation or delay, no stopping. Here we go. Second half of the first segment of the day. It is time 4. My best bets of the day on episode number 58, this beautiful June 14th, 2021. We are halfway through June, ladies and gentlemen. Can you believe that? We're about to be halfway through the year of 2021.
That's wild.
Let that sink in for just a second, but not too long. Let's get into my best bets of the day. All right, for the first play I got, and you better not call me a homer even though you see it across my chest. First play, I am taking the Chicago Cubs money line. And let me tell you why. My boys are hot, hot, hot. I said it at the top of the show. They're coming off a 3-game sweep of the Cardinals. They're NL Central rivals this past weekend, and I don't think anything's going to slow them down. Most notably, this Mets team and David Peterson. Now, if you didn't listen to me last week, I told you David Peterson is the worst pitcher in this Mets starting rotation. But let me dive into this pitching matchup just a little bit more for you. You got Jake Arrieta on the mound for the Cubs, and then obviously David Peterson on the mound for the Mets. Now, Arrieta, surface number-wise, has not been good this season. He has not been classic Jake Arrieta. He's left a lot to be desired. However, in his last few starts, he's really started to get a little bit more of himself found towards the end of May, going into June. I really like some of the performances he has put up, and also, most notably, his most recent outing was one of the best ones of his season so far. He went 5 innings, 4 hits, 6 Ks, a walk, and 1 earned run against San Diego, who a lot of people expected San Diego to beat up on Arrieta all day long, and he didn't let that happen, which was awesome. He also has faced, well, that's a mouthful, these Mets already one time this season. He did struggle a little bit with control and command. However, he was pretty dominant across the board. He went 5 innings against the Mets with only 3 hits, 4 Ks, 3 walks, and 1 earned run. The Cubbies did win 3-1 back on April the 20th. 420 blaze it. And one final thought here. Arrieta has been actually quite solid versus the Mets in his career, allowing a .228 batting average with a .274 OBP and a .591 OPS. So you absolutely love to see that. Some other thoughts on Peterson. I already told you, should have listened to me last week. He is real bad. He actually pitched in that matchup against the Orioles that I took the Orioles on. And in that matchup, he went 2 2/3 innings, allowed 8 hits, had 4 Ks with a walk, and had 4 earned runs. The Orioles absolutely destroyed him, and I love the Cubbies to do the exact same thing to him. He hasn't been good all season long in his 10 starts, 47 innings pitched, 1-5 record with a 6.32 ERA, 53 Ks with 21 walks. He's got a .273 batting average allowed with a .357 OBP, 860 OPS, and a 1.51 whip. He has not been anything that you should put your money on, let me tell you that. Not to mention, the Cubs are 9th in the NL with a 312 OBP and 4th in the NL with a 723 OPS. They are crushing the ball right now, and versus lefties in their last 5, my Cubbies have a batting average of 308 with an OBP of 308 and are scoring 6.75 runs per 9 innings. This Cubbies team is hot. Give me all of them. 20-6 straight up. Last 26 meetings between the Cubs and Mets. 7-0 last 7 meetings in New York. 6-2 straight up are the Cubs' last 8 versus a lefty. 19-7 in their last 26 games overall. Not to mention 17-4 straight up in their last 21 games versus a pitcher with a whip above 1.30. And the Mets, 2-5 straight up last 7 versus the NL Central, 1-4 straight up in Peterson's last 5 starts, and 0-4 straight up following a Peterson start where in his last appearance he allowed 4 runs or more. Give me all of my Cubbies on the money line today.
I think I'm gonna have to ride with you, my man. I'm definitely down to bet against David Peterson. I'm definitely down to bet on the Cubs versus lefties right now. The only thing that even makes me hesitate a little bit, I know you said Arrieta's better than his surface numbers, and I would agree with you. That would be the one thing that's gonna, keep me have me a little bit slower to smash that in with you. But I think I'm gonna smash it in with you.
Yeah, I don't mind you. I know Jake's surface numbers haven't been the greatest, but I think he is turning a corner here.
After that start last week, though, that's
after
definitely
the start
helping
last
me out.
week, and
That's definitely
especially
helping me
against
out.
these Mets, and especially after his one start against the Mets already this season.
Right.
I absolutely love it here today. So there's my first bet of the day. Now, Moving right along, second best bet of the day. Here we go. I am taking the Toronto Blue Jays. First 5 run line plus a half. Now, the Blue Jays have found their bats, ladies and gentlemen. They were getting a little bit cold there, but the whole lineup is back to crushing the ball, and they destroyed the Red Sox yesterday and have been having their way with their pitching, whether it's the starting rotation or their bullpen. I think they come right back into this game, geared up, ready to score more runs, and really put away one of their most heated division rivals. Now, as far as the pitching matchup goes, it looms really heavy for me. Alek Manoah on the mound for the Jays and Nathan Eovaldi on the mound for the Red Sox. Manoah, he hasn't had an opportunity to face Boston yet, so I actually see him being pretty pumped up to face this division rival and come out with a pretty solid outing. He did have one rough outing, but he has been solid so far overall. 3 starts, 14 and a third innings pitched, 1-0 record, 3.14 ERA with 16 Ks, only 7 walks, 295 OBP, and a 1.19 whip. So he's been pretty doggone good, and if it wasn't for that outing against Miami, I think that he would be just fine, and I think that he continues to stay dominant here. Now for Eovaldi, he's been good, but not spectacular, and he's not really somebody that I'm trying to put my money on against the Blue Jays, and I'll tell you why. In his 10 starts, he's gone 72 and a third innings with a 7-3 record, 4.11 ERA, but a 314 OBP and a 711 OPS and a 1.29 whip. So it's starting to climb up a little bit there with that whip. And the Blue Jays versus Eovaldi in his career, dominant. 327 batting average, 369 OBP, and a 987 OPS. It is going to be a day for these Blue Jays hitters. And the first 5 innings in the last 2 games, since they have played the Red Sox, or these two teams have played each other in the last 2 days, Toronto won both. The one yesterday 13-3 and the one the day before 6-0. That trend continues. Blue Jays stay hot. We might have another play coming out of this matchup.
Yeah, my man, this is without a doubt my favorite pick of yours, of your 5 picks. I think that Blue Jays offense is, as you mentioned it, they found their bats. They are alive. They absolutely destroyed the Red Sox this weekend. And the Red Sox offense, you didn't really mention it, kind of left a little bit to be desired. I don't know how much they could have done this weekend because they had some blowouts there, but all in all, that Red Sox offense wasn't really putting up a ton of runs this weekend.
No, not a ton at all, and I think that trend continues here as well.
Yeah,
absolutely. So, first things first, man. I am really bummed right now too. If we are having stream issues, I am so sorry. I don't know if it's something with the internet with something. I'll try and get it figured out here after I get through my best bets. But hang tight, hang solid, stay with us. Here we go. Moving along. Third best bet of the day. My one of 2 NBA plays of the day. I'm taking the Atlanta Hawks +3. Now, I'm not surprised the 76ers are favored. Coming off of a great game against them in this last one. But I thought it would be a little bit closer. I thought it would be like a ±1.5 type game here. I think the Hawks have a lot better chance than the books are giving them, or the public really has a perception of. They already beat the 76ers once in Philly, and I really think that they have another opportunity to at least get one at home. I've been saying it since this series started that I think the Hawks at least get one at home. This is their opportunity. If they don't get it done tonight, it's done in 5. They're going back to Philly, and it is over with. So some key things I'm looking at. I do love the money line. However, I'm just going to take them +3. Give me the extra points with a potential outright win, but I will definitely take the points. Key trends I'm looking at. Philly is 0-5 ATS their last 5 after scoring 125 points or more in their previous game. So it's a real big letdown spot for them here, and the public's backing them heavy. I think that is a continuous trend for them here tonight. They're 13-27-2 ATS in their last 42 road games versus a team with a winning home record. Philly is 4-9-1 ATS in their last 14 games versus a team with a winning straight-up record overall. Atlanta, 4-1 ATS their last 5 home games versus a team with a road-winning record. 7-3 ATS their last 10 overall. The Hawks are also 20-7 ATS their last 27 home games, not to mention 5-2 in their last 7 as a home dog ATS. And Philly is 1-6 ATS in the last 7 meetings in Atlanta. They got lucky, covered that spread. I love the Hawks to cover it tonight. Atlanta's getting 21% of the bets currently with a beautiful 40% of actual money wagered on the game. I love that to continue to kick up here today. Give me the free points with a potential cover, but I will gladly take the +3.
I'm not confident enough to show you down on it, but I am actually on the other side of this matchup. I think that Philly defense has figured out some things there with the Hawks. So I'm not gonna be riding with you on this one, partner. Like I said, not confident enough to show you down, but might be sprinkling a little bit of a half unit action. Maybe on the Sixers money line. I got burned by -3.5 last week, so I might be flipping it to the Sixers money line this time around.
We'll see what happens, but I really like the Hawks to at least pull well. I mean, they got to get one in front of the home
that's
fans.
Fair. No.
And, if they don't tonight, it's a wrap show for sure.
Yeah,
so
that's fair.
Either they cover it or not, and Philly not being good in Atlanta historically. I love that. So, hey, Zach, thank you very much. Good to hear everything's good. Thank goodness. Maybe it's just my website lagging here. Who knows? But moving along, fourth best bet of the day. See, you never know what you're going to get here at the TTL Pod. That's the most beautiful part of it. But here we go. I am taking the Colorado Rockies first 5 plus a half. They are playing the San Diego Padres, but I have found some serious value here. Now, the Rockies are coming off a brutal 6-game stretch, all on the road, and we all know they have not been good on the road this season. If you've been listening to the TTL Pod, we've been telling you they've been killing it at home all season long, and once again, I think the pitching matchup looms really, really large in this game here today. Now you have Dinelson Lamet on the mound for the Padres and Austin Gomber on the mound for the Rockies. Now Lamet has been solid. He's gone pretty doggone good so far all this season. However, we saw him in his last matchup against the Cubs only go 5 innings with 4 hits, 6 Ks and a walk, but allowed 4 earned runs. The Cubbies ended up winning that game 7-1. It was pretty brutal, and I think this might be a trend that continues here with Lamet. I think he has really not shown his true version of himself, and I think this is the true version of himself. Now, why do I say that? Because his ERA has only continued to trend up over the course of the last 3 months. In April, he put up an 0 for ERA, but then in May, 3.00, and now into June, a 5.00 ERA. So it's only continued to trend up for him, and I think it continues to trend up even more here. And not to mention, Lamet holds a 4.50 ERA at Coors Field so far this year. So I am not trying to back him at Coors, but I will back Austin Gomber, who has been somebody that the Rockies can really, really lean on here as of late in May and June to keep them in some of these tight games at Coors Field. He's had 9 starts so far, gone 68 1/3 innings, 5-5 record with a 3.95 ERA. That is a touch inflated. It would be a lot lower if it wasn't for a few early season games where he got a little beat up, but he has been so good and dominant lately that I absolutely cannot imagine not backing him at home. He's got 71 Ks with only 23 walks, a 277 OBP, and a 1.13 whip. Give me all of Gomber, who against the Padres in his career has a 157 batting average allowed, 289 OBP, and only a 5.13 OPS against these Padres. So he has pitched extremely well. And I mentioned the ERA problems for Lamet. Gomber's getting better in the ERA department. April, 6.65 ERA, May, 3.15 ERA, and now into June, 0.82 ERA. Gomber is starting to find himself, ladies and gentlemen, and he has a 1.33 ERA at Coors Field this season and holds a 0.79 ERA against these Padres this season. Give me all of Austin Gomber and the Rockies to, at the bare minimum, have this game at 0-0 or 1-1. Or potentially even get this one outright. But I will gladly take the half run to give me a little bit of a backing because I do see this one being low scoring and end up being tied. So give me all of the Rockies here, first 5 plus a half on the run line.
I think I'm going to have to ride it with you, my man. I was a little bit more on the fence, and it wasn't even, any type of stats or analytics or any type of bet percentages. It was more so, and I'll admit it was more so of a public perception of Padres-Rockies. Do I have the balls to back the Rockies today? And you told me I have the balls today. I have the balls, and I'll grow them by within the next hour or so. I think.
Slapped it on the desk is what I just did there. So there you have it. My fourth best bet. Damn, I just did it again. Holy cow! Fourth best bet of the day. Now into my fifth best bet of the day, my second NBA play of the day, and my final. Here we go. I'm going to the other matchup between the Utah Jazz and the LA Clippers. And folks, I am not buying into public perception. I'm taking the Jazz +5 on the spread. The public is pretty doggone quick to forget how damn good this Jazz team has been after one loss where they just didn't come out as dominant as they needed to be against this Clippers team. I have no reason to believe that these Clippers will put up even close to the 132 points that they did before. I think this is much lower scoring and potentially ends in a Jazz outright victory with so much money coming in early on the Clippers. The Jazz are 47-33 ATS on the season. This is a minor bump in the road. They have been cover machines. But if you don't believe me, let me give you a couple key trends. The Clippers are 1-7-1 ATS in their last 9 after a straight-up win of 10 points or more. Letdown game, public perception thinks they're hot. They found it all of a sudden again. They did it all year long. This is the time they let you down. I think it continues here in the playoffs. They're 1-5 ATS their last 6 conference semifinal games. They're 1-4 ATS in their last 5 home games. And the Clippers are 1-4 ATS in their last 5 home games as a favorite. Now the Jazz, 7-1 ATS their last 8 after allowing 100 points or more. 5-1 ATS, their last 6 playing on 1 day's rest. The Jazz are 11-4 in the last 15 meetings between these two teams, and 9-4 ATS, the last 13 in LA. Pardon my math. Utah right now getting 39% of bets, but a whopping 52% of the money. Give me all of the Jazz on the sharp play to at least cover this spread, if not get the outright win. They are the better team. They are the more dominant team, and I am not riding with the public here today.
I'm less confident in this one, and I'm not confident enough to show you down, but I'm flipping on this one as well, partner. All of what you said is extremely valid, extremely solid analysis, and like I said, not confident enough, but I've been saying it all season long. When the Clippers, their backs against the wall, or when they feel like they need to try,
they let you down.
No, they're a different team than what. They're a different team than what the.
I knew where you were going. I knew where you were
They're a
going.
different team than what the full slate of trends season looks like, because, and we saw last series, when their backs against the wall, they figure it out. When their backs were against the wall in Game 3, they dominated, and I think Paul George is the key. I think and I think he's going to show out like he did in Game 3, or at least similar to that. And I think their defense and how they slow down Donovan Mitchell is the opposite key. And I think you might see a little bit of added pressure from Kawhi Leonard on the defensive end, because sometimes they kind of keep that in their back pocket and don't really unleash him on the defensive end until they really need it. And I think we're going to see that tonight.
I don't believe so. I think the Jazz are going to ratchet up that defensive intensity. Travels very, very well for them, and I think the previous game, Game 3, was just a blip on the radar. I think the Jazz return to dominant fashion, and at the very least, keep this within a last-second bucket game. Give me all 5 of those points tonight, ladies and gentlemen. So there you have it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 best bets from me today. We've been rocking and rolling right along here. We are just about 40 minutes into the show, maybe just a little bit less. Let's not hesitate. Let's not delay. Let's get into the special play of the day, the Monday Madness Parlay. All right, I am so juiced up for this parlay, I can't even begin to explain to you, my friend. Without further ado, we have 3 legs coming at you. I already told you about it a little bit at the top of the show, but the 3 legs are going to be 2 MLB and 1 NHL leg here today. So, partner, wherever you would like to start, wherever you'd like to tip it off, if you'd like to go from the top or if you'd like to go from the bottom, whatever you like, let's lay down the 3 legs here and now.
Alrighty. Yeah, I mean, there's not too much to add on these plays because we already nailed a couple of them, at least for the first 5. But the first leg is going to be the Reds money line on the road versus the Milwaukee Brewers. Already mentioned it earlier, but you got Vladimir Gutierrez versus Eric Lauer. I really like this guy, Vladimir Gutierrez. In his young career, he has been really solid. And, the big thing that I like in this one, I already mentioned it, but I'll say it again because it's a big, big trend. On the season versus lefties, Reds were not worth a shit, but the last week or two, they are figuring things out, and they are hitting pretty evenly, still crushing the ball versus righties, and they've picked it up against lefties as well. And like I mentioned it, the other key was that the Brewers are getting pretty hot right now, pretty damn hot, but it's, against the bottom half of the league, bottom 3 teams in the league.
Yeah.
So do I think the Brewers are a solid team? Yeah, for sure. But, 9-1 straight up last 10 and beyond that is a little bit inflated right now. And the Reds in their own right are playing pretty damn solid baseball right now. So Reds money line tonight versus the Brewers.
There you go. First leg. Second MLB leg. We are taking the Toronto Blue Jays money line as well. Now, I already told you pretty much everything that I had on that. Love the pitching matchup. I love the Blue Jays to stay hot at the plate. Vladdy's hitting, Simeon's hitting, Gurriel's hitting, Bichette's hitting. It is
Teoscar Hernandez
is hitting. It is a free for all right now for this Blue Jays offense, and with them being as good as they have against Eovaldi in his career, this lineup. Give me all of the Blue Jays here today, partner. You got anything to add on that leg? Because I sure don't.
No, we already nailed it. You already nailed it in the first one. That Blue Jays offense is too damn hot right now, and I said it a tiny bit, but that Red Sox offense isn't exactly going stride for stride with them as well.
Right.
So.
Right. Absolutely.
I love it.
So there's the second leg and third and final leg, my friend. The NHL leg. Here we go. Lone game tonight. My Habs versus the Vegas Golden Knights. We're not going to take a side. I might take a side outside of the pod.
You definitely will be taking a
side. Yes, I will. So make sure you stay tuned to my action app for that. However, we're going to go to the game total for this one. And contrary to popular opinion, we are going to go under 5.5 goals. Let me tell you a couple key reasons here, though. A few things that I'm really looking at in this matchup. Both teams have been putting up a lot of goals. The Habs have been putting up a lot of goals. The Knights have been putting up a lot of goals. No question about that. However, the men sitting in net, I believe, are going to really be the key factor here tonight. You got Carey Price in net for the Habs, and then Marc-Andre Fleury in net for the Golden Knights. Those guys have been standing on their foreheads for this entire Stanley Cup playoff length or series or whatever you want to say at this point. They both have been so doggone dominant, and both defenses for these teams have been really, really good as well. If you look at the teams that they faced, those teams have been great all season, but really haven't been scoring. The most notably, Vegas limiting the Colorado Avalanche, and the Habs limiting not only the Winnipeg Jets, but also the Toronto Maple Leafs. So these defenses are a lot more solid than they get credit for, and these goalies, everybody knows the names of these goalies. So I think this under has some serious value, and I think because of how much these teams have scored offensively lately, that the public is going to rush to hit that over 5.5.
Yeah, you couldn't have said it any better, man. I mean, you said it all postseason, but especially the last week or two here, the last 4 or 5 games of both of those series, they've just been dominating on defense and as a goaltender on each side. So I am right there with you. I'm saying a little 2-1, 3-1 action one way or the other.
Absolutely. I could not agree more on that score prediction. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. The Monday Madness Parlay. Now, this is a juicy sucker.
What'd you say it was?
It is paying out over 7-1, right around plus 720 for 3 legs. So you're getting 2 dogs and then the under right about minus 130.
Yeah.
So some serious value on this parlay. But if you missed any of it, if you're just joining us, if you just clicked on over to this part of the show, the YouTube video, whatever the case might be, and you didn't get all of the best bets of the day, let's go ahead and do you a favor. Jump into those real quick. But before we do, get out your favorite sportsbook right now. If you aren't in a legalized betting state, don't know how you found us and are listening to us if you aren't. But if you are, thank you so much. We appreciate you more than you know. Get out your pens and paper. Maybe you can write them down and then put them in with your bookie later. But let's get into today's best bets of the day. Mr. Riley White, if you could be so kind. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. If you could turn right in my face. If you could turn, Riley White has had a rough start to
Monday, baby. It's Monday.
Here we go. So turn your attention to the left side of your screen. RMags picks for today. He is taking the Cincinnati Reds first 5 run line plus a half. The Kansas City Royals first 5 money line. The Oakland A's first 5 money line. And to wrap things up, his fourth and final pick of the day, the Minnesota Twins first 5 money line. Shift your attention to the right side of the screen if you could be so kind. For my picks of the day, I am taking my Cubs on the money line, the Toronto Blue Jays first 5 run line plus a half, the Atlanta Hawks plus 3, the Colorado Rockies first 5 run line plus a half, and the Utah Jazz plus 5. There you have it, our 9 best bets of the day. And in the bottom right corner, now you have the Monday Madness special play of the day. Toronto Blue Jays full game money line, Cincinnati Reds full game money line, and the under 5.5 goals in Montreal Canadiens versus Vegas Golden Knights. Parlay those up for some juicy right around plus 700 to 720 odds. And let's get a nice special play to the window to start this week off hot.
I'm right there with you, my man. How
10
about
plays. 10 plays to start your Monday, boys and girls. We got a card today.
How about a double-digit plus double-digit units today? How about that?
I like the sound of that, and the way things are looking over yonder, I think we got a pretty...
Not over here.
Not over here. Not over here. Over there.
Over here.
Way looking over yonder, we got a pretty damn good shot at doing that. Some serious value coming here. So get those bad boys locked in. But might as well do it. As always, you know the deal. Lock them in, hammer them home, sprinkle a little bit of dough down, whatever you like to say. Just make sure you get these best bets of the day from the TTL crew in at whatever the current best line is on your favorite sportsbook. Now, if you notice down there in the bottom left-hand corner, we got the crowd favorite, the always popular, the all-knowing Moneyline Dice. Told you MLB roll today at the top of the show. Now you see it. We're going to the matchup between the Pittsburgh P-Roots and the Washington Natitudes. Very excited about this matchup because it is really close. And the pitching matchup, I know Lester's on the mound for the Nats. Who's on the mound for the Pirates?
JT Brubaker.
Okay, so 2 guys who have let up a lot of earned runs, so could be quite interesting. But let's get into today's Moneyline Dice roll of the day. Third segment of the day. All right, gonna have to do a little bit of action here, okay? So first things first, let me get out the dice. Let me send you guys a quick reminder so we can get it out of the way now so you guys don't have to hear me say it later. You want your own Moneyline Dice. This is the first time you've ever heard about Moneyline Dice. Anything of that order, or you just want to roll right alongside the doggone TTL crew and Moneyline Dice, head on over to MoneylineDice.com. It is the second link that you can find in this show's description. And we also put the code in there for you so you can get a nice little discount. When you get to your checkout, you can obviously see it down there in the bottom. But when you get to your checkout, make sure you enter code TTL10 at checkout, and you're going to get 10% off your first order at MoneylineDice.com. Crispy, smooth dice. They help you to ease your mind, not rack your brain when you're trying to search for trends and analysis and you just can't find them. Roll the dice. Take the ease your mind. Take the pain off of yourself and put it on the dice. Let them choose for you and run some tickets to the window because these babies are hot. They should be painted red, for crying out loud. So go to MoneylineDice.com, code TTL10. All right, here we go. The dice have made their way to the studio. Now
Looking good, dice.
I gotta get a little something set up here.
Okay.
Let's see how everything's going.
You take care of that. I'll set the stage here for
please
our
and thank you, sir.
here.
That would stop some of the awkward silence of you just standing watching me do it.
So as my partner mentioned, JT Brubaker versus John Lester. Brubaker 4-5, 3.9 ERA. John Lester lefty 0-2, 4.19 ERA. The Pirates are the underdog in this one, plus 120, with the Nationals coming in at minus 120. The over/under is looking like 8.5. Over/under 8.5. Let's look at some of this money. Public money and bets coming in on the Washington Nationals. 78% and 79% of bets and money on the Nationals money line. Total is looking like an under for the public and the bets. 55% and 57% on the under. Percent and money on the under 8.5. That spread is not too bad either. Minus 165, or excuse me, plus 165, minus 1.5 for the Nats. Minus 190 at plus 1. Excuse me, plus 1.5 is minus 190 for the Pirates. So I think this is an interesting one. Obviously not jumping off the page as far as marquee matchups, but interesting matchup here. I was torn between this one. I wanted to have a little bit of action against John Lester here, but this Pirates team about as cold as they come right now, and the Nationals are kind of treading water here. Took 4-game split here with the Giants. Partner's getting this thing rocking
it's
and rolling.
About there. I think it's about there. I know I'm killing you now with all these words.
I'm all good. While the Pirates looking like at least 5 losses in a row. So, obviously some tough teams there, Brewers and Dodgers. But I don't know what's going to happen here. The dice apparently do. I don't know if they're going to double down on something. I don't know if they're going to have 2 pieces of action here on something. But this dice roll is going to be a juicy one. So
just restart from the top. All right, here we go.
Anywho, partner, this dice roll is going to be the death of us because I am always going to have some faith in the dice here. But they are 13, 19, and 1.
Okay.
Things have, believe it was a bit of a bad beat on Friday, if I'm not mistaken, for the dice. Let me see here. We had the Blue Jays Red Sox matchup, and the Red Sox actually got it in the last inning and walk-off, I believe, against the dice for the Blue Jays. Had a nice little plus money to finish out the week, but we couldn't get there. And is it going to happen, or is it going to be a no-go for today?
It might be a no-go for today. For some reason, it's a little freezy-deezy here. I don't know what the issue seems to be, but every time we get it pulled up, it doesn't seem to want to rock and roll here. So I think that it could, but see, then it just gets a little frozen.
Well, folks, in case we don't get this happening here, Colt's going to try one last time, I believe, here.
Yeah, one last time.
One last time. But we're going to try and get you a nice view here on the table of our dice. So,
you ruined it. Well, no, you told them what we were doing.
Well, I know.
But, I don't think it's going to happen today. We're going to have to do a little bit of kinks and figuring it out of this shit because it is... it's not wanting to work. I don't know if it's with all the software and everything going as well. If what the hell's going on? All right, one last final try here, and if not, we're moving into the Moneyline Dice because we are wasting time. So here we go. One final try. All right. One final try. What do you got?
Nothing. I can keep chatting about this matchup, I suppose.
If at all. Who knows?
Because, like I said, I was torn in this matchup because I wanted to take the Pirates because I do believe they have some solid numbers here against John Lester in their career, as they have seen him quite a bit when he was in the NL Central. Adam Frazier hitting 368 off of John Lester. Kevin Newman, 350, 7 out of 20. And, then Gregory Polanco, 2 for 17. Brian Reynolds, 1 for 12. So it's a little all over the place.
And stop the banner, because I got it all figured out. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, live on your screen, the TTL. Hey, don't, you ain't got to show everything now here, pal. Let's keep it a little under wraps, show the whole damn studio. So on your screen, the table. Now, first things first, home or away? Are we going with the home team, Washington Nationals, or the away team, Pittsburgh Pirates? In 3, in 2, you will all see it now for the first time live. In 1. Little slider back.
That is the home team, Washington Nationals.
Home team, Washington Nationals. So I'm going to slide this.
Dice almost took out her headphones there, but that's going to be all right.
That's all right. So there is the first roll of the day. Now coming for the second roll of the day. we are going with.
Some notifications on the screen
Yeah, I
there,
know.
but that's all right.
Maybe swipe on those up if you see those, my friend. That'd be kind of cool. So here we go in 3, in 2, in 1 for ATS or Moneyline.
It's going to be the Moneyline.
Moneyline. Home team Moneyline. So the Nationals Moneyline.
Right over there for me if you don't mind.
There you are. And last but not least, the wild card dice. Are we going for the same thing? Are the dice doubling down on the Nationals money line? Will they tell us to re-roll the whole thing, or are they going to skip it all and just go for the total? We will all soon find out in 3, in 2, in 1. Home money line.
Doubling down.
Ladies and gentlemen,
once again,
this is officially the 3rd day in a row that the dice have doubled down. The dice have spoken! Now you have it. There you have it. For the first time you've ever seen it live, because my partner decided to show you the entire TTL production studios, gave you a nice whole pan. You now see where we're from. There you go. There you have it.
I didn't do any
Outside of that, if you want to take a guaranteed ticket to the window today, there you see it. Doubled down. Home money line for the Nationals. So one more time. Run that ticket to the window tonight. Nationals money line for today's Moneyline Dice roll of the day. Thank you, Dice. We appreciate you so much. We can't tell you how much we love your picks. We are really looking forward to running one to the window today. Let me get everything closed out here so we don't have any outstanding issues or things such as that. All right, there we go. One more time for the best bets of the day. We'll just quick touch on it. There you go, so you can see it one more time in case you missed anything. Our Mags picks, my picks, the Monday Madness Parlay, and now the Moneyline Dice roll of the day. Washington Nationals money line doubled down by the Moneyline Dice. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Let me get these dice put away, nice and secure in the
doubling down
handy travel bag.
When you know, I guess.
I suppose when you know, you know.
I guess.
That's for sure. Moneyline Dice doubling down right now. All right. There you have it. There you go. Well, that's about all we have for the first half of today's show. RMags best bets, my best bets, the special play of the day, all the analysis and trends in between, and now the crowd favorite Moneyline Dice have officially spoken on today's show. We got nothing else for you in those gambling departments. So if you're one of the kind folks who just stops by the daily episodes for our best bets analysis and everything in between, that's a wrap on the first half of the show. And if you're about to head out of here, we hope you have a spectacular rest of your Monday. But come on back fast now, and we'll see you on tomorrow's show, because we got more sports books to bankrupt, and we need your help doing it one play at a time. So see y'all later. Peace and love. But for those of you sticking around for the second half of today's show, let's drop it on down into first gear, kick it on back a little bit, and talk some shit.
Ooh, baby.
It's time, ladies and gentlemen, for today's Rants and Reactions. And boy, oh boy, do we have a weekend of ranting and reactions. Ranting and reacting to get into, rather.
Yeah, we do.
First things first, I'm just going to get it out of the way because I'm really looking forward to it, and have been. Obviously, if you didn't listen to Friday's show, you won't know how excited I was for it, but it lived up to all the hype.
Yes, it did.
UFC 263, my friend. First kind of thoughts. Anything in your head? Anything you stuck out in your mind?
I mean, the top three are obviously the last three fights really, resonated with me. I'm trying to rack my brain to some of the older or the previous matchups. One of the ones that I was most excited for, actually, before we dive into the big ones, Drew Dober, Brad Riddell. That was a scrap and a half, my man.
Yeah, it was.
And it did not disappoint. That one was, aside from the top three, that was probably the one I was looking forward to the most. Brad Riddell got the finish, correct?
Yes, he did.
Yeah.
Well, he didn't get the finish.
So.
He got the decision.
Decision, okay.
Yeah, I believe so. I believe so.
Like I said,
while
those
you're talking
top three overshadowed me because a lot of good fights. A lot of damn good fights. And, even outside of those top three, my man, was there any, aside from the one I just mentioned, outside of the top three that you really, really enjoyed?
Oh, boy.
Which one, I should say.
So, Brad Riddell did get the unanimous decision.
Right.
Jamal Hill versus Paul Craig. First and foremost, great news to hear that Jamal Hill's arm was not broken, but dislocated. They popped it back in a socket, and he has full range of motion. If you didn't see that, he was in a full arm triangle, and his arm was doing this when he was getting punched, except it was going all the way back the other way. Mm-hmm. And it was clearly messed up, and whoever that ref was, I watched the post-fight presser, but apparently, if you're a UFC fan, he is the Mazzagatti of Arizona. So basically everybody knows Steve Mazzagatti to be a complete piece of trash in the octagon, and he's blown a lot of critical UFC fights. You might not even know about him because he hasn't been in the UFC for a very long time. Dana hates him, and in the post-fight presser, he was like, "Oh, so this guy was Arizona's Steve Mazzagatti," and everybody just started dying. Like, yeah, pretty much. So that fight was really interesting. Another one that really stuck out in my mind that I really, really liked was the Leon Edwards and Nate Diaz fight. Yeah. But something I wanted to hit on that one was the very end. Mm-hmm. It almost seemed to me that Nate wasn't supposed to win that fight. He caught Leon so clean, and Leon was out on his feet. Mm-hmm. He was seeing cobwebs. He was out. And instead of swarming on him, Nate pointed, laughed, and then proceeded to just pepper him up for the rest of the fight. There was something wrong with that.
You think so?
There was something there. That doesn't sit well with me. I don't know. Because he had him, man. I woke up Sunday morning still chapped about that.
Yeah, I wanted it bad too. So you're leaning there. I'm not disagreeing with you by any means. In my head, he just didn't realize that he stunned him like that. And maybe you're right, but it is Nate Diaz.
It's Nate Diaz.
Yeah, that's fair.
I mean, come on.
Because he touched him up for the best fucking. I think he got him with the Stockton slap on the right, and then caught him with the left jab.
Yeah,
punch.
it was nasty.
It was real nasty. And in my head, he just didn't realize that he wobbled him like that, at least to that extent. So
I hope, because he was half bent over with his eyes as big as saucers, looking at Nate, figuring, oh boy,
would that have been one of the craziest flips at the end of a fight in history?
No, you've never seen the Czech Congo versus Pat Barry fight.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Maybe not the one, but like up there.
Up there
for sure.
But that one just came to my mind. If you guys have never seen that, and I suggest you watch it too, partner. Czech Congo versus Pat Barry. Czech Congo puts Pat Barry out twice. Pat Barry wakes back up twice and proceeds to put out Czech Congo. It is fucking insanity.
Okay.
One of my favorite fights of all time. Two heavyweights. Pat Barry is Rose Namajunas' husband.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so, and Czech Congo hasn't fought in the UFC.
No, I know Czech Congo.
Czech Congo, just a force of a human being.
Yeah.
So, there you have that. And then...
before we leave off that, are we seeing another long layoff for Nate Diaz, or is he getting right back into it?
He's not getting back into it.
Okay.
He can talk all he wants, but the UFC is only going to offer him so much, and he's not going to take any of the low-level fights. Yeah. And there's nothing that you can do from here. I mean, maybe somebody in the top 10, but I couldn't tell you right now. Right. I mean, Dana had nobody in mind. Right. Even Nate didn't have anybody in mind when he was asked, where do you go from here, Nate? Now, I don't know.
You think he becomes a gatekeeper or something like that?
No, Nate won't do that.
I don't think so either.
He's not a journeyman. He's not going to be somebody just get his ass pounded in and stack on losses to his pretty pristine career record. So I don't know. The other huge one for me, one I talked about all on Friday's pod, Viva Mexico! Brandon Moreno, baby! Brandon Moreno looked like a stone-cold killer and took out a stone-cold killer. Don't get it twisted. Devason Figueiredo is a bad man. And the fact that Brandon Moreno did what he did to him proves that Brandon Moreno is every bit he said he is from the last fight, and he is going to blow up internationally. Mark my words.
Yeah.
Mark my words. He's one of the nicest champions in the UFC right now.
No, you could tell, even after the fight, you could tell that. And I followed them a little bit, but if you hadn't already followed them and you just saw that, you could already tell that.
Right.
And we're definitely getting a rematch of this one within the year, or within the calendar year, I would say.
Yeah, I mean, basically, you have to have a rubber match after a draw. Well, I mean, honestly,
it was a draw. Well, and Figueiredo defended the title for 4 or 5 fights, so you kind of have to give him that out of respect, the rematch.
There's that too. So we could possibly see that, but I mean, with how dominant Moreno was, if he trains the same way,
I'm going to take him again.
I will guarantee take him again as well. Other than that, I mean, a lot of good fights up and down the card. There was a lot of just kind of unanimous decisions. A lot. Oh, told you about it. Terrence McKinney with a 1-2 jab cross down the chute that put Matt Favola on his ass 7 seconds into the fight. I told you about that on Friday. You do not blink on Terrence McKinney. Hopefully, T's and P's, his knee is not blown up past oblivion. He was doing a little celebrating there. We've seen it so many times with guys celebrating, coming down off the cage, and pew, there goes the knee. So he knew it right away, but he said he just needed a little stretch. I think that was just playing it off. I think he might have some serious ACL, MCL issue. They haven't said anything yet, but we'll see what happens there.
Bilal Muhammad getting back on top.
Yeah, Bilal Muhammad was dominant against Damian Maia. I mean, Damian Maia obviously is getting way up there. He's an old dog at this point, but Bilal, after that eye poke in his last fight against Leon Edwards, he came back and he was dominant, my friend.
Well, so do you think Leon gets a big shot here, or do we see a rematch between those guys coming up?
I think you see Leon and Bilal go again. I think so.
Especially because Bilal looked really good.
Yeah, he looked good. He looked extremely well, and for him to not get that rematch, I mean, especially with how it ended, it just wouldn't make sense. So, and then from there, I mean, obviously Colby is next in line. Or no, they're in 185. I'm sorry. I'm getting ahead of myself and getting into 170. Kamaru Usman. Some other big stuff coming up there too. So we'll see. Actually, yeah, they are welterweight, I do believe. Before I move on, let me just make sure. They're welterweight. Yeah, so they're 170. Middleweight's 185. So there you go. There's that action. UFC from the weekend had one hell of a card. Almost cashed my main card parlay.
Well, I had a couple straights. I mean, I took Izzy. I put 3 units on Izzy.
Yeah.
I mean, he had me cracking up, man. It was kind of disrespectful.
Yeah, I mean, how can we not talk about Izzy, I guess?
But I mean, you saw it at the end of the fight, the last 5 seconds of the fight. Vittori kind of has him in some good, not that serious of a hold, and then as the fight's ending, Izzy fakes
Yeah, he's hitting him with a quad shots. Vittori,
and then he had me dying because Vittori thought he won the fight. I don't know where he got that from. And Izzy wasn't really, it wasn't like an, oh my God, that was amazing type performance from Izzy. He did what he had to do. Yeah, he did what he had to do.
Yeah.
And then Vittori at the end, hanging on to the final decision like this, and then Izzy's just like,
what? What are you hoping that maybe something happens?
He was killing me.
I mean, no, he
because it's just his awareness. His awareness is so damn high. He knew he had the fight. He knew he didn't have to do much in the last round.
He just had to win the point battle. Yeah. And if you listen to Vittori's corner the whole time, Rafael Cordero was up his ass. He was like, he is beating you. He is beating your ass. He is outstriking
destroyed
you.
His fucking
he
leg.
is outpointing you. He is beating you on points. You need to get in. You need to go first. You will beat him if you go first. All four rounds in a row. The going into the 5th round was the only time that he didn't get it. Rafael Cordero was chewing Vittori's ass. Yeah. And Vittori just wasn't listening. He thought he was winning the fight, winning with wrestling. Vittori's off his ass.
He got his.
I don't know.
He beat the shit out of his leg.
Yeah, he really did. And that's 2 fights now that Vittori thinks he won, and 2 think that he's going to be pretty chapped about for the foreseeable future. So
I don't need to see a rematch of that.
No, I don't need to see a rematch of that either. Skip all of that for me. Moving right along. NFL nonsense. We are getting so close to the start of the regular season, but a little bit of drama coming out here.
Sort of.
From kind of the drama king himself. I don't want to say that, but it always seems like something every offseason. Le'Veon Bell says he will never play for Andy Reid again. What's this all about, Magnuson?
I don't know, man. He didn't. I was trying to read into it a little bit. He didn't really say why. He said he wished he wouldn't have taken it to social media, which, whatever. You didn't. Too late. But I don't know, man. And I mean, I have to imagine it has something to do with Le'Veon not really getting the keys to the kingdom like he probably thought he was when he was going to go to Kansas City, because he didn't have the biggest role over there.
Yeah.
He still probably thinks he's top 3 running backs in the league, which he's not really quite that anymore.
No,
so
sir.
I have to imagine it's along those lines. If not, and it's something personal or worse than that, that would be really surprising to me, because just about everyone that comes through Andy Reid's path doesn't really have anything like this to say about him. So just a little surprising.
Very surprising. In other news, also, I don't really have much to react about that.
Would you say what I said on the first part was right? Like maybe he just didn't give him the keys to the kingdom like he thought he was going to?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's kind of classic Le'Veon. Like if Le'Veon doesn't get 72 carries a game, he's just.
But he was awesome in Pittsburgh, and then but running backs grow on trees, and he didn't really account for that. So he's thinking he's gonna be given a $50 million contract.
Well, and he's also no Derrick Henry. Like running backs have evolved over the last few years, and he really hasn't evolved himself.
Right.
He's kind of stayed the same Le'Veon back. Now he's good. Yeah, he's real good, but I don't know. Pittsburgh Le'Veon, maybe not. Maybe he's not the classic. And if Andy Reid saw that, I mean, they got to the Super Bowl again.
Right.
Now, granted, they lost it. It's incredibly hard to repeat. We all know that, but they lost it. So I
don't know.
I don't know, man. There's a lot of speculation around that you could potentially go into, a pretty deep rabbit hole, but I don't know. We'll see what happens. See if Le'Veon lands anywhere else or lands somewhere again. Who knows? He's kind of on the RB carousel now. I kind of see that because a lot of teams are finding their number one guys. So we'll see what happens there. Other news: Mr. Julio Jones looking quite swell in that navy and baby blue down there in Nashville.
Yep. Number two, running some real tight, nice routes. Hey, watch out, AFC South. Yeah. I think the Titans are coming out of nowhere, and we're gonna see some serious battles between the Titans and Ravens this year, especially after all the nonsense that happened last year. I got the Colts in that division still, so.
Okay.
You know I do.
Wow, putting a lot of stock on old Carson Wentz, huh?
Nah, the rest of the team.
Oh, okay.
Rest of the squad.
Okay,
and
so
Carson, just enough from Carson Wentz.
Just enough for Carson. So who's scoring?
They got a very good defense, and they've got a very good offensive line.
So offensive line trick plays?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, gotcha.
Tight end, offensive tackle at the goal line, type of stuff.
You heard it here first. The Indianapolis Colts are going to this year's Super Bowl on offensive line trick plays per Riley Magnuson. There you have it. Today's hot take of the day. That's about it for NFL. Moving right along into the MLB. Nothing crazy, nothing wild, but big news. My Cubbies coming off of the 3-0 sweep against the Cardinals this past weekend. Last night's game, Kimbrel gave me a little bit of sweat there at the end. I had the Cubs minus 1.5. They were only up 2-0. Thought he might have give up one, but then he turned to the Heat and absolutely gassed the rest of that Cardinals lineup. Sat down Arenado, sat down O'Neill, and then I don't remember who he sat down. So it was absolutely beautiful. I know you, partner, being a Southsider, you're also pretty excited this upcoming week here.
Wheels are turning, weekend, baby. Huh? Wheels are turning.
First in the AL Central.
Half a game behind the best record in baseball.
Okay.
Half a game behind those Tampa Bay Rays, who they will be facing tonight. Lance Lynn, Tyler Glasnow tonight.
That's a hell of a matchup.
A matchup and a half. I am very excited for that. So,
that's going to be a matchup there, kid.
Got to beat the teams you got to beat, like these Tigers the last couple of weeks. So, I would say you have more right to be excited given a big sweep against a good team like the Cardinals, but a sweep is a sweep nonetheless.
Well, not to mention, I tweeted it out last night, and actually I didn't say it in my analysis. I was going to, but the Cubs are 16-2 against some of the best teams in baseball. 5-1 against the Cardinals, 5-1 against the Pods, 3-0 against the Dodgers, and 3-0 against the Mets.
What about those Giants?
I'm not sure. Not very good. Not very well at all. Rough day for the pitching rotation. And when we went to there, but took care of business for the.
The rest. Those other numbers are still solid. Doesn't matter.
They're the best bullpen in baseball right now, arguably. So I have no qualms. This team is so fun to watch. I love the Cubs right now. It is a blast and a half. And now the Federal Landmark is rocking. I mean, it is stuffed seat to seat, and there's not an open one in the whole joint. I mean, it is rocking. I could practically hear it from my place, for crying out loud.
I don't know what the deal. The Sox are doing full capacity starting on June 24th or something like that. I don't know why they are delayed compared to the Cubs. I don't understand why that's happening, but
because they suck.
I don't know.
So there you have it. Cubs and Sox. We're kind of planning time for us. Old Mags has got to a game. Trying to plan a time for us to get to a game together. So maybe we'll have some content coming out if we can get a game on the radar here that we can get to. So we'll see. Stay tuned for that. We might be telling you we got a game coming up. Let's see what is going on in the chats here just real quick. Yeah, exactly. Already talked about the UFC, but yes, Zach, that is so true. I mean, it was ridiculous. I don't know why he did not go for the kill. And then, yes, sir, tighten up, my friend. I am all about the Titans this year. I don't know. I might do a little sprinkling on at least AFC South champions, but maybe even AFC champions overall.
Okay.
They got a hell of a roster this year, so we'll see what's going on. Moving on, NBA action, ladies and gentlemen. We got some good games coming at you tonight. 76ers, Hawks, and Jazz Clippers. Should be two tightly contested contests, as all the media personalities like to say. I think both of these games are going to come down to a final few buckets here at the end, and both dogs have extreme value here on the lines tonight. But I know you're contrarian to me. You're siding more with the public in this one. That's basically what the entire public is thinking, is both favorites to stay dominant and destroy. But I think that both dogs here shouldn't be dogs, and some good value, but some damn good lines. But over the weekend, had even better games. I mean, the games are starting to heat up now.
They are starting to heat up, finally. We had a nice stretch, or a bad stretch, where they, after a quarter and a half, it was a pretty quick turnoff on 90% of these damn games. Mm-hmm. But that Bucks-Nets series, I said it at the beginning of the playoffs, whoever's winning that is winning the title.
Right.
And now things are getting pretty fucking interesting. Kyrie, I would not be shocked. I would be shocked if he comes back in this series, actually.
Yeah, I definitely would be shocked to see him at least make an appearance for this series. I don't know, man. He turned that thing bad.
Yeah,
Rachel Nichols posted a picture of it, and I mean, his foot was completely on the side, and his leg was straight up. I mean, it was really, really bad. So I don't know. Now, you can kind of go down the rabbit hole. Does this speed up the timetable for James Harden's return?
I think so.
Or what are we seeing there? Or is this just going to be KD just splash city, easy money maker?
I think they can hold some weight and try and steal this next game just with KD. I think they lose 2 out of 3 games if it's only KD. Yeah. But like you said, and I said it yesterday, I do think this speeds up James Harden's timetable. I think they might have been babying him a little bit, especially after the first couple of games where it looked like they were going to walk to a series win, and they didn't really need him.
Yeah.
Now that it's could be do or die, I'm not going to say this next game is must win, but if he's not back this next game, I think he'll be back the first time it's a elimination game.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Because you
have if you don't lose, then you're done.
Yeah,
it doesn't even matter.
3-headed monster, man, and like they were running with the 2-headed monster. Now it's down to 1.
Just as a 2-headed monster, I think they take care of this series. Obviously, if they get all 3, then I think it's a wrap. But if it's only 1, it's still going to be KD's a bad man, and I mean that Bucks defense figured something out the last couple games, though.
Yeah, they sure did, and I was super high on them. I cashed the spread, the money line, and the under yesterday, so went 3-0 out of that matchup alone. So that was huge. I once again faded the public. I mean, it's what it's coming down to now at the NBA playoffs. You just got to look into trends. You got to see what's happening. You can't continue to make the same bets over and over and over again, which is what I'm not doing here today, ladies and gentlemen. Fading the ye old public. But other than that, the Suns, I mean, there's really not even much that we can say about them. They dominated the mess.
Yeah.
The mess out of wow. Complete blank. Complete loss.
I know it. I'm just waiting for you to throw it out.
I know. I'll find it. the Denver Nuggets.
Yeah, there you go.
Just had to find it in. I had it in the third filing cabinet back there in the head. It was not one of the most pertinent things I needed to know today. But they dominated the shit out of him. And then, well, I guess a little bit. What do you think about Jokic getting tossed last night?
Right. Even if he stays in that game, I don't think it's much different going down the stretch. He should not have been thrown out of a playoff game for what he did. I think that's pretty soft.
That was garbage.
It didn't matter. It was basically putting him out of their damn misery, if you ask me. And obviously, that's not what their intention was, but that's basically what it was.
Yeah.
It was interesting to see that guy get heated like that. He's usually a lovable monster, and obviously that frustration being down 3-0 and staring at a fucking sweep in the face had to add to it. But
it almost looks like he might not like Booker. There might be a little something between him and Booker because he went over to, who did he foul?
His campaign.
He went over to campaign, shook his head, put his hand on his head, like, hey, like, whatever, you bro down shit, whatever, like, hey, we're all good, peace out. And, like, when they announced he was ejected, like, campaign's face was like, man, like, he didn't need to get ejected for that. You saw that. But, like, the whole exchange between Booker and Joker, and then Booker was, like, excited when he got ejected.
Really?
So there might be a little something between Joker and Booker. And, like, you know, I obviously, I'm not an NBA All-Star. I can't say anything about it. But from time to time, that attitude does get a little... Let's knock that down a notch or two here, pal. Let's just play the game, rely on your stuff, and you ain't always got to be talking shit.
I hope there's some bad blood because the NBA needs more of it.
It does.
And this is a matchup. Obviously, the Nuggets just got swept, so they're toast. But going forward, I don't think it's going to be too much. But I mean, that's not a dude that I'm going to be wanting to mess around with. Obviously, Booker's got to stand up for his guy, but Jokic, Booker came right up to him, and Jokic was like, "What are you going to do about it? What are you going to do about it?" Little pipsqueak.
Yeah, he ain't going to do nothing to Jokic. No. So hopefully, hey, maybe there is a little bad blood. We can have some other stuff to talk about in the future.
Some regular season rivalry for the first time in 20 years.
Yeah, no idea. We'll have to see what happens there. And then, lock in for tonight. That about does it for NBA. We got some big games coming. And then last but not least, heading on over to the ice, NHL. Oh, boy. We had a beautiful game yesterday. My Isles. I actually bet against them because I didn't think they were going to take game one, so I looked stupid. I will not do that tonight. They took game one, 2-1. Absolutely beautiful job by my Isles, and one step closer to my early prediction, Habs versus Isles in the Stanley Cup Final. I will continue to stick to my guns on that one, ladies and gentlemen. But tonight, you obviously got my Habs versus my Golden Knights. We told you a little bit about it in the under 5.5 selection. I think this is going to be one of those back and forth, really defense-dominating games. And if you like a lot of offense, you're probably not going to see it here tonight. Yeah,
it's going to be an interesting series, man. The Vegas books are backing the Vegas Knights pretty heavily. Minus 460 to take the whole series.
Wow.
460, and it's somewhere north of 250, I want to say, tonight. So actually, if you like the Canadians, but you're a little timid, not terrible odds on plus 1.5 tonight.
Not terrible odds at all,
No.
But I do not think that the Golden Knights should be anywhere close to above 200-point favorites against the Habs. Are we forgetting that they just swept the Jets? Are we forgetting that they came back from a 3-1 deficit to the Leafs? I mean, the Golden Knights have been decent, but plus 250 for the Habs decent? Give me all of the Habs money line today. I don't even care. I will eat all of the juice. I don't even care. Like, maybe the plus 1.5 just for some backing, but I see it very similarly to the Islanders Lightning game yesterday, and they get it in the very end, if not OT, 2-1.
I don't have much of an opinion, as I've mentioned. I don't have too much insight on NHL stuff. I just, I'm a fan, so I sit back and watch. But I'm just interested in these odds. You can actually
too fishy, man.
Yeah, I mean,
Seems
even
too
on
fishy.
FanDuel, if you like the Habs but you still want a little bit of insurance, you can get some decent odds on like plus 1.5. So basically, they can lose in 7. And you can still get some decent odds on that. That seems like a kind of a weird bet to make, but either way, I don't know if I'll ride you with the Habs tonight, but I think I'm just gonna sit back and watch and see how this first one plays
but
out.
I like them at the series to take the series at the very least. If you don't like them tonight, I like them to take the series, but that's way too juicy for me to not at least lay a half a unit on at the very least. I mean, crying out loud. Like, they have played too damn good to be a plus 200 dog in the Stanley Cup playoffs. I'm not buying it. I'm just not buying it.
Okay.
So whatever you think, books, I ain't falling into the trap. I think the Habs get it done tonight. But that's the only one on the NHL slate. Nothing else big major news coming out of the NHL. So with that, about does it for today's Rants and Reactions. Nothing TTL-wise to update you guys on quite yet. We're still working in the background. Still got stuff coming on the way, and we're just going to continue to grow Talking the Line sports media day by day, roll new things out day by day, make it better week by week, month by month, year by year. We're just going to keep rocking and rolling here. So as long as you guys stay tuned, things are just going to continue to change. So little updates, little things here and there, and just makes the whole macro get bigger and better. And we're just going to kind of shift our attention to some of the micro stuff just to continue to make this bigger and better for you guys. So as always, thank you. You guys are awesome. Thanks for stopping by first thing on Monday here to get some bets rocking and rolling. But without further ado, let's wrap up, get towards the end of this pod here, this episode, with a little bit of my motivation minutes. Now, I told you at the top, something real special to me, and it actually happened again in my life, and I just had to share a little bit of a message on it and the importance of it in your life. I mean, it is so crucial to you getting to bigger and better places in your life. And what am I talking about? I'm talking about speaking things into existence and visualization in your life. Now, if you're not really familiar with the concept, it's pretty straightforward. Anything that you want in your life, any direction you want your life to go, anything at all, you can attain it and it can come into your life if you speak it into existence. Now, a lot of people might not know, okay, so how do I speak something into existence? All right, for instance, if you want a new car, start debating what it'll take. Start talking about what that car is going to be. What is it going to look like? What's the inside going to be like? How much is it going to cost you? What are you going to have to do to save up the money for it? Every little thing, you just continue to speak it into existence into your life. And it might not be today. It's probably not going to be tomorrow. Hell, it ain't even probably going to be next month. But out of nowhere, if you consistently speak that thing into existence, it is going to fall in your lap when you least expected it. I promise you, it happens every single time. If you can keep the faith, keep believing that, okay, this is going to come, I just need to continue to talk about it and to continue to work it into my life. All right, this is how it's going to feel. This is what it's going to do. This is what it's going to benefit for my life. This is going to be great. You know, one thing I always tell Mags, I always joke around with him. We're obviously small fish in the pond, but I always look at him, and this is my mindset. This is my mindset thing. Hey, man, we're millionaires. They just ain't paid us yet. That's the mindset you should seek to attain. You might not have it yet. You might be at the bottom rung, which we are very aware that we are, but we are more than prepared to continue to run up the ladder. We will not stop, and we speak into existence our future plans, our growth as a company, and everything we have in store every single day. And another key to that, something I do, is visualization. Visualize that which you want in your life. Back to the car example, what does it truly look like? What will it look like parked in your driveway? Start living your life as if it's already in your life. It might sound crazy, and you might feel a little goofy creating an extra parking space in your driveway when you already have two perfectly good vehicles. However, it will start to get you in that mindset, and it will start you to see areas in your life that you can grasp or use or attain to get you to that goal or that thing or that car, whatever the case might be. So continue to visualize that which you want, and I promise you it will come into your life. The key to remember is patience. It's not going to come quick. It's not going to come fast, but I promise you it will. You just have to continue to speak it into existence every single day, whether that be a new job opportunity, a new car, a new house, a new relationship. It can be anything. Literally anything. Start speaking it into existence and visualize what it will look like in your life, how it will feel in your life, how your life will change because of it. Live your life as if that thing or that situation has already happened in your life. And watch your life begin to change in that direction. Like I said, it will take some time. You're going to have to be patient. It might not be in the next couple months, but if you continue to speak into existence and visualize out of nowhere, that thing is going to drop in your lap. I promise you. Keep the faith. I promise. I can feel it. I can feel the energy right now. I can feel you guys hearing this message. Go chase after your dreams. Go get it. Start speaking favor into your life and achieving everything you've ever wanted. Go get success. You know my version. Centered, happy, and fulfilled. Go find your success. Visualize it into your life. Right now is your time. I promise you. I know it's scary. I know it's hard. I know you think it might take a while, and it's probably going to. But if you prepare for that, all of your wildest dreams will come true, and I promise you that the best is yet to come. And that does it for my motivation minutes for today. Anything to add? Any thoughts? Any questions on that, partner? Because it's something I do every single day.
Yeah, I don't know if I can really add to it. You pretty much nailed it on the head. I try to do it here and there in my day-to-day life, but yeah, you really nailed it. And obviously you do it a little bit more than I do, but
it's so crucial.
Yeah.
It is so crucial. I know it sounds like such a fucking tinfoil hat,
Sure.
like far off, and like, how can you possibly start visualizing something in your life? I'm telling you, start with something small. Start with something
there you
small.
go. That's
whatever you just. If you don't believe me, start there. If you are wanting something into your life, whether it be a new pair of shoes or a new something, don't actively go to attain them. Don't actively seek them out and like, oh, well, I can just go put my credit card on Nike.com. That's pretty easy. Don't just start visualizing them. What they will be in your life, will you have them? Continuously do that. Watch them come into your life when you least expect it. Most notably for me, one of my funniest ones was there was about a 3-month stretch where I was really wanting to get a fish tank. And it was back in college. And I was making some music with some guys, just producing little beats and stuff, you know, just playing around. And I kept thinking, I'm like, man, I really want a fish tank, but I don't have the disposable income to really get it right now. I'm a broke-ass college kid. What the hell? So I cleared a space on my dresser where the fish tank would go. I got a few little minor things that I could afford, like the water stuff, a net, a few little things. And I lived my life like I already had the fish. I literally got up in the morning and fake sprinkled food over an invisible fish tank. You think I'm fucking crazy? I promise you. A couple months went by of me continuously doing this day in and day out. I go to the studio for that night. I hop in the booth. I look down in the corner left of the booth, and there is a pristine fish tank sitting there. Look at my buddy Seabass. I go, hey, what's up with this fish tank? He goes, fuck, I got so tired of taking care of that thing. I just kind of drained everything out and whatever. I gave the fish to one of my buddies. I'm not even using it. You want it? And I was like, shockingly, actually, yes, I do. And that is the same fish tank I have to this day. So the power of it is unreal. It will take some time and it will take some practice in your life, but things will drop in your lap when you least expect it. So apply it in your life. Watch the miracles happen, my friends. I promise. I promise you. So there you have it, my motivation minutes of the day. Wow. Episode number 58 of the TTL Pod, partner.
cruising right along.
What is going on here,
Cruising
man?
right along.
June 14th, 2021. Double what the hell is going on here, man?
I mean, you already said it at the top of the pod. We're about halfway through 2021. It does not feel like it.
It does not feel like it. I don't know where the time has gone. Hey, the old saying, time flies when you're having fun.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah,
That is definitely fair.
we are having a blast doing this. We get up with a purpose every single day just to come and bring this to you guys. We love doing the show. We love the back end grind of all the additional stuff. You know me, I'm crazy. Process over product, motivation minutes. You know me, I'll always be that guy. But man, oh man, we absolutely love doing this. We love our jobs. We love what we do for you guys, and we're just going to continue to do so. As always, we do not do this for us. We do this for you. We love connecting with you guys. We love all the amazing people that we've already met. Doors are already starting to open in areas that we would have never imagined. So we're just going to keep grinding, keep pumping, and I'm going to keep visualizing and speaking into existence. And if what I got in mind comes to fruition, which 99.99999% of the time it does come to fruition, boy, oh boy, you folks better look out for what we got coming. I mean, it's going to be awesome. I cannot wait to see where Talking the Line Sports Media goes and grows. And can't thank you guys enough for hopping on the rocket ship with us, headed to the moon, and being here with us from day one. Your support, your following, all that good stuff. I know I say it all the time, but doggone, I mean, it means so much just to see some views, likes, all that good stuff. We promise. Either way, even if you guys don't like or don't watch, we're still going to keep pumping these bad boys out and other content out, but we appreciate it so much nonetheless. Let's wrap this bad boy up right quick, as always. Partner, anything burning on the brain, melting on the heart, festering on the soul that you just been dying to get out to the kind folks that joined us on episode 58 of the pod today, my friend?
I've got a little something here.
Okay.
So you and I are both video game fans, sports game, game fans, more
Yes,
specifically, at least a little bit.
Yes, sir.
So Madden dropped a little teaser for their upcoming cover athlete release, which will be on June 17th. But either today or last night, they dropped a video of two goats walking out of a barn. And now people are speculating that both Tom Brady and Patrick Mahomes are going to be on this upcoming cover. Both
goats.
of which have been on the cover within the last 4 or 5 years, I believe.
Two goats, huh?
Because I don't know who else they would be trying to tease if it's not. I mean, one of them's got to be Brady. Obviously, you're not going to say goat without
putting him
Brady
in the
on there.
conversation. But
and one of them did look a little younger than the other, if that matters.
Huh. Quite the speculation you did on this commercial here.
People were chatting about 100% of the comments I was looking at said Brady Mahomes ? And then people are pissed off because both of them have been on the cover of the last few years. So
that's pretty doggone interesting.
Yeah.
So the jury is out on the
June
Madden
17th.
cover for this year, and we will find out on June 17th per Riley Magnuson on episode number 58 of the Talking the Line podcast. Quote it down. You heard it here first.
It's a big scoop.
Hell yeah, it is. I appreciate your sidebar, as always, partner. There you have it, folks. Ladies and gentlemen, degenerates, gamblers, far and wide, every single one of you. One more time before I wrap this thing up. In all seriousness, thank you guys so much. We're about to stick a month under the belt of being live on YouTube here, and have loved the process, loved the journey every step of the way. So we just continue to connect with so many amazing people, and we're just going to continue, as I always say, to continue to make Talking the Line Sports Media bigger and better for each and every one of you. That is a stone cold promise, and you can take that to the bank and deposit that. Without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, degenerates, gamblers far and wide, from myself and Mags, we hope you have a spectacular rest of your Monday. Unless you have other plans, let's cash some tickets.